are
going live. We're live. Yes, we are.
Isn't it so exciting?
It is so exciting.
Oh, I thought that was a notification.
You know what's more exciting?
What?
That it's Friday.
It's Friday, Friday.
Don't get that song stuck in my head.
Okay, is anyone here? Is anybody alive out there?
I'm here.
What's that quote from? Is anybody alive out there?
Nemo. No. I don't even know why you asked me trivia questions.
Because it's like the best movie ever, biggest movie of all time, I want to say.
Yeah, but I'm horrible with movie quotes and
I know, but it's like literally the biggest movie of 1998. The biggest movie.
Yeah.
Think about it. It's a true story. Is anybody alive out there?
Don't know. Anyways, so what are we talking about today?
Telling yourself no.
That's such a horrible idea.
For you.
So we're talking about telling yourself no?
I'm going to bring this closer so I can read comments.
What about telling your spouse no? Or...
Well, I don't think personally you should ever tell your spouse no. I think that they should get good at knowing when it should be a no, or I need to discuss this with my spouse.
Yeah. Not
necessarily like I gotta to ask my husband because he's gonna say no, or I'm gonna secretly do it because I know he'll say no. That's bad.
Gotcha.
Real bad.
So it's been a while since we've done a Financial Friday video, right?
Yes. It's been a while. Is everybody here? Everyone can hear and it's all good? Okay. Yeah. You entertain them. I'm making sure the logistics are done.
The logistics are done. So yeah, I think we've done two. Have we done two? No, I've been able to do one Financial Friday video with you. And that was all about our debt story and how we made a bunch of dumb decisions with a bunch of zeros at the back end of it. And then you did another video, a Financial Friday, about budgeting, right?
Like a basic budget. We'll get together and do a more in-depth.
More in-depth?
Yeah, it was like a basic run through of how to do a basic budget.
Basic.
Basic.
Like budget. I make money, my money go out somewhere.
Yeah, it was zero.
Let's try to make it zero.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, so we thought it'd be kind of important to talk about when it comes to your finances, and if you're in a relationship or marriage, or even it doesn't matter. Just being able to tell yourself no when it comes to dealing with purchasing things, or you have that urge to, I need a new car. Why? Because I have a flat tire, and so all of a sudden you find yourself on a new car lot.
I think that's a good point right there, though. That's your first step.
Oh, yeah.
Realizing the difference between a need and a want. If you can replace that sentence with want, that's a good first step.
Yeah.
To process on your own before you even think about moving beyond that step.
Yeah, that's a difficult one to change your vocabulary.
Yeah.
Right? So
well, I know
going
in America,
from need to wants, but then also practicing a little two-letter word.
So
no.
Madame Leota 33 says the only exception is when it's a surprise. So we should talk about surprises.
That's gotta,
maybe we'll ask them for help on that, because for us, I know it's hard for me to think of a surprise for you because we are so in tune with each other's finances that I don't even know how
our finances.
Well, I'm saying there are people out there who don't do that, so it's separate. But because we are so one on our finances, it's really hard to how would I do that? Take some money out and pretend I'm gonna go buy something for myself that I've gotten the okay on, and then stash it and then go buy it. I don't know, because that's one of the things that
Lindsay said I actually cut up all my cards a week ago. You guys truly inspired me to start being serious about it. Way to go, Lindsay.
Awesome.
That is a huge step to take. So
yeah.
Obviously you told yourself, hey, I'm not going to live a life in debt. So I'm telling myself no. So you're already practicing this very foreign thing of telling ourselves no within our culture. So you had a couple couple questions, right, that we jotted down that we're going to talk about?
Yeah, I mean, we were already kind of
Going
into them. I like the idea of just kind of chatting about it, and then if we get to those questions, like if we don't know what to talk about.
Oh.
But
okay.
I think that that was a good place to start, where we were talking about, running it by each other before you even think about buying something. So what our first question was, when is a time that we did not tell ourselves no, and what were the consequences?
I've got a great one. I've got a good story.
Is it your truck?
Yes. I think I shared it too in our debt video, our Financial Friday. But for those of you that haven't watched it, I needed a new truck because I was driving around a smaller truck, and it was for work. So there was a justification of it. But my awesome wife was saying, maybe we should wait. But she happened to take a trip to go visit some family, and I happened to find myself on a car lot with a whole bunch of trucks. And so I ended up, I just happened to drive, 20 minutes somewhere.
Backstory a little bit, though. We were, how old were we? 20 and 22.
Yes.
Or 20 and 21. I don't even remember. But this was like prime of our debt catastrophe before all the like big stuff started piling up. This was kind of like right before that started to happen.
Yeah. So anyways, I found myself on a truck lot, and I found myself signing the dotted line to take my new truck that I needed home. And the way I was going to tell you was just super smart. I text a picture of the truck to her. Wow. You were like, what, 800 miles away? I took a picture. Oh, yeah.
Well, your justification in getting the truck that you got was that it could seat 6. So it was a family truck.
It was safer. It could haul more.
It was a cool truck, though. Like, it was a nice truck.
No, it was a nice truck. But obviously, I could have been a lot smarter with what I did need a little bit of bigger truck for work. I just wanted a bigger, a nicer one, a newer one. And so obviously I didn't tell myself no in that situation because it's obviously a big purchase. I think I spent like $22,000 on the truck, which, I mean, there's cars these days that $22,000 can be pretty small.
That's probably more than we'll spend on a car, though.
I mean,
I don't know.
So
I would never spend that much
for me, not saying no in the moment and saying no, I'm going to wait till my wife gets home, and then maybe I can try to talk her into at least, hey, let's go for something.
Talk her into. So.
But the consequences were a very, very disappointed wife, pregnant wife.
Well, okay, so I don't think I was that disappointed. I think I was more disappointed in the fact that you went and made such a huge decision without even consulting me. So I think that that's the underlying thing, because there was a lot of justification in you getting the truck. If we had known what we know now, obviously we would have, it probably would have been wrong to say yes to that, because we were financing it. We only buy cash now. So now it's a wrong no. But back then, I think we both agreed that it was a right yes. And if we would have come together, it probably wouldn't have caused any problems. And I don't think it actually caused that many problems. It just more or less made me so mad when I got a picture of this truck that I know that, one, I felt like I would missed out because I love doing those big things together. And then when I got the text and I was like, why would you go buy that while I'm out of town? Like, why would you feel the need that that has to happen?
Because I didn't want anybody telling me no.
Well, yeah. And I think that's where that comes in, when people stop communicating because they're afraid that the person's about to say no. So if they can do it before, I think realistically your paintball gun is more of an actual, I think that would be more of an actual like story of when I did say no and you didn't listen. But the truck was more like, man, this was a big decision we should have made together. Yeah. But I think that there's I think we get for like with those big things, it's one thing, like that's catastrophe, whatever, you can figure it out. But then there's those little mundane, everyday little things.
Yeah.
Like a toaster that can toast 8 pieces of bread.
What about that?
But what?
Why you bring up the toaster story?
Because my point is like
I think
little
the key thing is what this gets at is if you're in a marriage, if you're in a relationship, it's super important to, when it comes to finances and money and decisions, is being in communication.
Yeah.
I know it's super common, and we talked about it, I think, in our previous videos. Super common for people to be in marriages and relationships, or just say marriages alone, and they've got completely separate finances, and they just work on paying bills together. And obviously, that makes communication a little bit more difficult, and being on the same page. But when it comes to the big financial decisions, being in communication. And you're right, I think.
But not even big. So Christy Clay says, do you have a minimum limit you have agreed on that you talk about prior to purchase?
Gosh.
Do you want me to answer this?
Yeah,
one?
go ahead and answer it.
So I would say every purchase we kind of talk about, like literally everything, but there's our blow money category, which is like each month we each get a blow money section of our budget, and those we don't really care about. Like, no. I don't need to know if you're going and buying a shirt or this or that. We've already agreed on that number. Like, you're allowed to spend this much, I'm allowed to spend this much, and we'll revisit that next month. And if you went over your blow money, then that's a different story. Like, then maybe you should talk about it and think like, oh, you know what? I'm about to go over my blow money, but I really would like to buy myself something this month. So why don't I revisit the budget? Or I'm going to have to tell myself no until next month. Yeah.
Well, I think that gets to Christy's question is we build it into our budget. And so an example would be like one of us, I don't know, I want to get a new TV for maybe one of our bedrooms or something. We wait until the next budgeting kind of month comes up. That way we can build it in there. And there's two cool things about that is one, it forces you to wait. So we avoid the just knee-jerk buying or, the compulsion to just buy something. But then it also helps you build it into your budget. And if you're in a marriage relationship that you're budgeting together, it then forces you, hey, yeah, we're going to spend $300 on a new TV. But I think when it comes to, the other items, like we have the house we bought a couple years ago, it's from 1957. And so we've been slowly renovating it. And I think in this month's budget, we put $1,000 towards it. And so we're replacing all the interior doors, which cost like $850. So I just, need to communicate to you or, hey, I'm going to buy all of our interior doors. It should cost like $800-900. And it's like, okay, sounds good. Thumbs up. We've budgeted that in. So, just need to make sure they were the right doors that you wanted. But yeah,
that's got to be in the budget. And that's, I think saying no is easy for us now, but now it's like but it's not in the budget.
Yeah.
That's the bad words in our house. So, I think it doesn't matter who makes more money. A relationship is a two-way street, and there should be a budget. There was something about our craft supplies and paintball stuff in the blow budget.
Yeah, so we have, I think, $200 each in our budget for our own, fun money. And that's where that kind of stuff would go. And I think someone said earlier, like, what about surprises? Man, this is the difficult thing about relationships is those are the moments where you're like, oh, if it's not in the budget, maybe I'm going to sacrifice part of my my blow money, my fun money to spend it on my spouse
or you could budget surprises in.
Like, no,
you could literally
we have
put $100 a month in budget in surprises.
Yeah.
And keep it two separate maybe things, that's maybe something we need to do.
Well, we have our gifts categories.
But that's for other people. I'm talking about for each other, because other people don't know our finances. So obviously, like, if I want to surprise someone, they're not going to be in my bank account being like, hey, why did you spend $30 on Amazon? And then that's the hard thing too. We shop a lot on Amazon. So it's really hard to surprise each other through Amazon, because I'll look for like my order and be like, oh, he ordered this.
Yeah, Amazon needs to come up with like some hide feature.
They do.
I don't know. That might be
that would be bad. But like something. There needs to be something. Like, is this a surprise? Like, hide it from your. I don't know, because that would be bad. That could be really, really bad.
Let's see, what else are people talking about?
I like the idea of budgeting fund money. Do you guys have separate or joint accounts?
So totally joint. Everything is joint accounts for us.
Well, and even the ones that aren't joint, we both manage. So, like, I have a business account. Well, we both manage that business account.
Yeah.
So even though it's like, and you're on it too.
Yes.
So it's joint. But even if you weren't, don't get crazy.
How much crafting supplies do you buy for your business?
All right, this is why it's amazing to have a crafting business, because I get to budget those into my business budget, and I also get to budget them into like write-off categories. So crafting supplies is where it's at if you start a crafting business.
Well, didn't you recently put a video about talking about like following your dreams or aspirations?
No. It's coming.
Oh.
It's a part of financial. No, they know. I think I told them that. They know some of the videos are pre-shot and edited. Duh.
Yeah, no, but we have everything is joint accounts. We both know where all of our money's at. We use Google Docs or Google spreadsheets for our budgeting, for our savings account, like how that's broken up into different categories. Just so both of us, wherever we are, we can open it up and see kind of what is our financial snapshot. Because I think when you have separate accounts, and if one or the other is, struggling with saying, just buying a bunch of stuff or not sticking to the budget, it can create a lot of tension, within a marriage or a relationship. So, I mean, it's at the core of our marriage of we became one. And so we're unified,
across the board.
Across the board.
Everything.
Whether you like it or not.
Why are you so aggressive today?
I love you, babe.
Okay.
All right.
That means if you go get Taco Bell, you ask me if I want Taco Bell.
Anyways.
That's the rule.
So we're talking about saying no. I shared a story about when I didn't say no and the consequences. Mm-hmm. Do you have a story?
I feel like I struggle more with this on my diet than I do with financial choices.
This is how
to tell yourself no. It doesn't have to be finances.
Okay. So we're practicing saying no.
Yeah, because I don't know. Can you think of a time that I went and I just bought something? I've always been like, because I was raised like
po,
like real poor.
Poor.
Oh,
yeah. Poor.
I was raised poor. So, it's just been, you twisted me here.
Sorry.
It's just been in my nature to be okay with me not being able to have certain things or waiting for certain things or working really hard to get them. I'm not trying to put myself on a pedestal with that. I'm just trying to say, like, in the financial world, unless you can think of a time that I have, like, obviously, like, little things, I have a hard time saying no to really cute things. Like, I love cute stuff, like this backdrop that someone just asked about.
Oh, I thought you were about to point to me.
I love you, and I should not have said no.
Somebody asked actually where you got this backdrop.
Amazon. It's actually in my Amazon store. I add everything I buy on Amazon to the Amazon store.
How do you get to that?
Amazon.com/shop/Shanty. It's also in the description box.
Oh, okay.
All right. I don't know. I feel like for me, telling myself no is harder in other areas, unless you want to help me out, because I can't think, unless I'm just not a good self-aware of my problems. Because I'm very self-aware of the problems I have when I can't say no to like sweets, fast food, which is the same thing.
I'm not helpful in that.
What Dave Ramsey talks about financial fitness. because it's the same concept of like, if you want to be fit, you've got to make these choices. If you want to be financially fit, you've got to make these choices. And action or plans backed by action become reality.
Yep.
Do you guys have a fast food budget and a grocery shopping budget, or one or the other?
It's all combined together within our budgeting. We have, we just call it food. And so that even includes when we go to Costco and we buy 38 million rolls of toilet paper or paper towels, like that's just all thrown together. So food and household goods, because we just found in our budgeting process, the less categories you have, it's a lot easier to manage. And that's just us. You know, you may be in the early stages of budgeting and you're like, hey, I need to be able to stick to, you know, buying food at the grocery store and then the fast food, you know, category. So
yeah, and that's just personal preference. There are some people who have it all separated out in their budget. That just gets really annoying when you're going through a receipt and then you have to like separate this.
Yeah.
And I think we've tried that before and it was just not, it wasn't cute. So
yeah. Any apps you use for categories of fun money?
You can talk about that while I read some other comments.
Do we use any apps?
Any apps you use for categories, fun money? Well, we use Google Docs, which you already talked about.
Yeah.
So the Drive app, honestly, like I use that more than anything because it goes with Google Docs. I know Dave Ramsey has an app.
Yeah.
But I know there's a lot of budgeting apps out there that you can use, but I don't personally use anything. I feel like the more complicated I make it, the harder it is,
the quicker you give up.
Yeah.
It's kind of like losing weight, babe.
No,
the more complicated you make it.
So just don't eat.
Yeah.
At all.
I don't know how that works.
Right?
All right. What was one of the other questions we came up with?
When was the time that we did tell ourselves no, and what were the rewards of that?
Do you have a story for that?
Well, right now in our current situation, we are in a market where our house is above market value of where we bought it, and we didn't flip it, but we've basically put enough work into it that we've got a lot of equity in it. But for the sake of our real future that we're looking for, we're telling ourselves no, because we could sell our house right now, take the equity and put it down on a bigger house and buy a bigger house and ride the whole market and wait till, you know, we got a little bit more money. But I think right now was a big time because we were looking at like realtor.com every day. We were trying to get pre-approved. And then we kind of just realized like we should probably just say no to this timing because the market is so high. And if we wait this out, you know, when the market does go a little bit lower, when we do buy another house, we can actually like pick exactly what we want because the market will be lower. We'll hopefully still have good income because we're saving and making wise choices now while the market's high and everything's doing well. So yeah. I think that was a big no. Can you think of another time?
Yeah, no, I think that was our most recent one is we were, you know, contemplating selling our house to use a little bit of that equity to upgrade a little bit in house, but, you know, which I think started taking up a lot of our time and energy and just kind of financial planning process. And we just, I don't know. I think we just finally came to the realization of like, no, let's be smart and wait till maybe the economy turns a little bit and starts, you know, becoming a buyer's market. Because it would be nice to, you know, have a little bit of, you know, another bedroom or something and a bigger living room so we could host more people. But we just got to a point where we're like, nope, let's just be content. And I think contentment is it's a great thing when you can get to that, to be content with what you have, you know, where you're at, you know, in life, and to find the joy in the small things. So I think there's a really good conversation going on. I think they were talking about when there's a single household earner. And
one person's not making the money and contributing. She also mentioned that she doesn't know what's going on financially at all, and even though her husband is providing, if he were to pass away, she's going to be lost, like on financial. It's the same conversation. They're talking about that he makes money and she doesn't, which is very valuable to stay home with your children. But at the same time, when one person is making all the money, it is very easy for that person to just take control over all of the finances and not let the other person in on what's going on. That's very similar to what we were in.
Yeah.
When I chose to stay home. We weren't young and dumb. We just weren't educated.
Sure.
Because if we were dumb, we would continue in those. We would have learned, and then we still would have continued. But we were in the very same boat. You were the breadwinner. He was making a lot more money than I could have even thought to make. So I went and decided to stay home and try to do little work from home things. So
I'd be like the cookie winner.
Okay, you're the cookie winner because I'm trying to not eat cookies here. Okay, sorry. And bread. So you're the almond milk winner. Okay.
Sounds great.
Okay, so you're bringing home the
almond milk. Or the espresso
winner.
winner.
You can bring home the eggs and bacon. So I was staying home, not making any money. I would make little money here and there, and that's the money that I felt like I could do whatever I wanted to do with because that was like my money. And I could, if I wanted fun money, I would make something or sell something or do something. Anyways, but we were not on the same page financially. I just thought he's such a hard worker. You're doing such a great job, which he was. And so therefore, good job
making money and sending money out.
And he was a great spender of money, which I thought he was making more than what he was spending because I thought that's what everybody knew and thought. But that wasn't the case for us.
Wrong.
And luckily, my husband is not dumb. And when he learned the right way to do things, he changed. And it was a plan backed by action. And it became reality. And now we do everything correctly and do it together and talk about it. So I would just encourage your husband to try to let you in on it somehow, but it's hard if he's not willing to. So just start that conversation, pray about it if you're a prayer, and just bring it to him and just let him know like you would like, maybe even if that becomes one of your responsibilities, like I want to be the one to pay the bills and take care of this. I know now you take care of most of that because we both work a lot, but when he was doing that and we really like jumped on board, I was the one like tracking all the bills and making sure all the bills were paid and stuff because I wanted to like keep an eye on everything.
Yeah. Yeah. I think something else that's super important is if you're a stay-at-home mom or there's just, one person's not working and the other person is make sure you guys have term life insurance, because I think someone mentioned, if they pass away or whatever, it's super cheap, just like 30-year term life insurance. If you're, on the younger end, it's going to cost you like $15 a month for, like $500,000 of coverage. And that is, that's a little safety net. Like, gosh, we never hope that our spouse or our significant other passes away. But
when they're really making you
mad. I know where you sleep. And I can get
we probably joke about that too much.
No, but it's a security kind of net to have. And if, God forbid something like that did happen, you or the spouse who's still alive would be financially taken care of.
Yeah. So she said he has life insurance, but I still don't know about the bills. So that's kind of the thing that is very daunting as somebody who knows nothing, because I feel that way about like my dad, for instance. I'm like, I need to ask him like where everything is, because if he were to pass away right now, I would know nothing. Like, where is everything? Where even stuff, like not just money, but just like things. Like, you kind of want to be in communication with that kind of stuff at all times and be prepared.
And both people should know, hey, where is our budget? How do our bills get paid? Are they all auto paid on the credit card? And like within our own budgeting, we have different color categories that represent, like, this is auto drafted from our bank account. This bill is auto paid on a credit card, which, by the way, we have a credit card that gets paid off
we'll do a video.
I pay it off like 5 times a month.
We'll do a video on how we actually manage a credit card, but that'll be a whole video, I think.
So, and I think someone mentioned like their spouse gets stressed out when you start asking questions of where everything is. And I'm going to probably just go out on a limb and maybe put out there that there might be actually some kind of financial issues going on, that the person who's taking care of everything doesn't want to find out about what might actually be there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So Clueless Mama D, who's Drea, does my takeovers.
Yeah.
She wants to know any advice on fluctuating income, which maybe you could talk about for a second.
Yeah. So when it comes to fluctuating income, like self-employed people, you need to know what is your baseline monthly pay that you're going to get. So I'm just going to say, if you look back the previous 12 months and you have always earned, I'm just using basic numbers, you've always earned $1,000. Like you have not dipped below that, like your minimum amount. You want to base your budget off of that. And then what you do is you list out your bills and you say, hey, these are the most important bills, and I'm going to take care of these first, which are usually going to have to do with eating, the place you live, so a rent, a mortgage, your utility bills, putting gas in the car, those kind of basic necessities that you're going to pay those bills first. And then when your income, bumps up, I'm then going to be able to take care of, these next bills. And that's kind of the hard part of being self-employed and making your own money. But you use a baseline income that you can try to project from your past of what the future might look like.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it can be stressful to do budgeting.
Yeah.
Within that. So what else do we got?
So Jessica was just reaffirming that we should know our parents' financial situations. Her father passed away. She says attorneys are making a lot of money from his trust. So yeah, just being in the know of your parents is also probably super important too. I don't know our situation with that, but I don't know. It's helpful if, I don't know. That's hard to explain.
When it comes to your parents?
Well, yeah, I'm just saying, like, it doesn't need to be as unified as a marriage because you don't need to make all those choices for them, but you should definitely know, at least make sure that they have a binder or something with at least like all their logins and something, or somewhere that they let you know, like, if you need to get, like, here's a spot with everything that you need to know. And so
I like the term the legacy drawer or something.
The legacy drawer?
Yes. I mean, so which
we don't have.
No, we don't.
We need to have one.
Basically, it's a location of all of your financial documents, your bank account stuff, and I think that's the important part of when it comes to finances. Also, is knowing that, hey, one day, we're not going to be here, and so are we going to make it easier for the people who are going to come behind us and deal with our mess or our financial lives? And we're going to make it easy, or we're going to make it difficult. And that's always a difficult conversation to have with, parents, grandparents,
but
siblings.
It's real. It's not, I mean, it is difficult, but it happens to everybody and everybody has to go through it. So why do we ignore it so much in life? Like, we think that it's just this thing that's never going to happen to us. And so why talk about it? But in reality, like, I know people who've paid for their own burial plots and their own, like, things like that because they are thinking so much about the next generation. So that would probably be something we could talk about too, is how we prepare for our own children not to have to be burdened if we were to pass away.
Yeah.
Which,
get a will, put it all in one place, or you can go to the next step, get a trust. But everybody should have a basic will. I mean, heck, you can get them offline for $20 for, state specific.
Yeah.
You can fill it out. And
what if someone were to just, like, write a will? Does that work?
I don't know. I'm not an attorney.
I've seen a lot of movies where they're just like, we found the will in the box and he wrote it handwritten, and everyone doesn't get anything because they sent it off to his
in family
brother.
situations, that's where you get, like, the third cousin removed from the Woods comes running out saying they have some kind of piece of paper. Anyway, what's one of our
Talking
about
not
saying
to make
no
that much money.
when it comes to
yeah,
finances,
but we're going
no.
off of what other people want to hear about today,
which is
too.
great.
Yeah. So
great.
So this one was another one. My boyfriend and I both have a business. Mine is very new, and his is not, but had to relocate. So basically, starting over. How do we tell each other no? So the whole point of the video is to tell yourself no, and I think we kind of touched on that. Was the goal to being able to tell yourself no is not having to put the other person in that predicament. Like, if your spouse has to tell you no, then you might have had to tell yourself no first. Unless your spouse is just being petty and like, no, you can't have that because I don't want you to have it. That's
like controlling.
Well, yes. I mean, there's a difference between if you're saying no because you want to be controlling and you don't want them to have joy out of something, or you just don't think that they or you have no good reason to say no, then that's a whole different ballgame. But like, if your spouse is legitimately telling you no and has good reason to tell you no, then I'd hope that you could get to a goal where you could start to reevaluate before you even bring it to your spouse. Not to say you don't need to talk about it, but just be like, hey, guess what? I was thinking about doing this, but I think that's a really bad idea. I'm
good at that.
You're good at what? Telling me that my ideas are bad?
Yes.
That's okay. I know my ideas are great, so.
They're great.
They don't cost money sometimes, but.
All the MLMs, but yeah.
I have not been a part of an MLM for at least 8 years, 7 years.
Virginia Hall says, my ex-husband never told me no. Maybe that's why he's my ex.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like those little hard moments make the big things so much easier. It's not, when you're constantly hiding things from each other and you're going off and spending things and you're not discussing them. You can be like our story where I look at the bank account and realize like every little thing was bought on a credit card, or I didn't know that we didn't have that much money and all that good stuff. So.
Yep.
You see any other ones?
No.
Don't tell me
no. What else do we have?
That was all. Just about communication, but I think we've touched a lot about communication.
Yeah.
Where's my notes? Yeah. So.
I think it's a great habit to challenge yourself also to say no to something. Just, when you find yourself like, oh, I need this, or even if, hey, I want this, just practice like, you know what, even if it's something petty of a, $40 item, it's like, you know what, I'm going to wait and I'm going to get that. I'll look at it tomorrow or in 3 days. And it's amazing how many times you realize like, yeah, I totally could do without that.
Yeah.
And it's another great way to save yourself some money. Keep it in your.
I think I have the opposite
category.
problem. I say no so much, then I go home and I can't stop thinking about it. And I'm like, okay, now I'm going to waste gas because I'm going to go back and buy it, even though, I don't know. It's just.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there's a great conversation going on about basically leaving, your legacy financial binder or whatnot. So, but I think who said it? Kelly Jo. She talked about when someone dies and it all goes to the government. Yep, that's what's going to happen if you don't have a will or a trust in place. Is the good old government, and
I think
then
she
someone
said
else.
Attorneys, but
no, that was someone else. The government and attorneys. They love estates because they'll just
and they love when people get in fights over it because then they get to give
Sibling
more money
warfare.
over it.
Yep.
So the easier you make it on siblings to not, just tell on this.
Ooh, that's a great one. How do you tell yourself no when you live alone and there's no one there to keep you accountable?
And this is my point. Learning to tell yourself no is more important because what if he dies? I mean, that's not the most detrimental thing about him dying.
Train our children.
I don't have someone to tell me no. But you shouldn't need someone else to tell you no. Like, realistically, like, accountability partners are great in life, but there comes a time when you've got to realize, like, I've got to do this myself. Like,
Yeah.
like, I don't know. That's my stance.
No, it's something that I lead some financial classes at our church, and it's typically older women who are living alone, or and this is their very thing. You know, they'll be all excited about budgeting and tackling it, and they're like, "Oh man, I was alone, I was bored, and I was shopping, and so I bought way more than I was supposed to." And I think that's really where it just becomes, you know, building in that self-discipline of, why not flip it? I know buying things can be a lot of people's comfort, and, you know, that's how they kind of find a little bit of joy, but start trying to find a way of, hey, if I can actually live within my cash flow plan, my budget, make that a joy and start building that habit. So, I mean, that's kind of the rough part of, you know, living alone, being alone, or step out and build relationships with, you know, other individuals that you can get to a point of having a deeper relationship that you can talk about your finances and have an accountability partner. But someone, who was it? Someone said, oh, there it is. Sometimes you can't wait because then when you go back and buy it, it's gone.
I think that's a lie, and it's not a lie, but it's just our culture to be told, like, buy it now, 3 more seconds until it's gone, and then you see that infomercial like 10 minutes later again, and it's got the same countdown.
Or the furniture store that's always going out of business.
Yeah, that's just a sales tactic, and I get that, and the worst, that's not the worst thing ever, but it, you know, it can be the worst sometimes, is when you do say no, and then you decide, like, I do want that, and you go back and it is gone. I've had that a lot, but it's just one of those things where it's like, is your life over? I don't know. You still got food on the table, I hope.
Yeah.
And all the necessities are taken care of. So.
Yeah. See you, Jessica. Yeah, she talks about like sibling warfare, basically.
Yeah, sibling warfare is fun. So that was sarcasm. What?
I know.
Okay. I know you know, but I was letting them know. I'm not just saying like, oh, fine, that's fine.
That you're not just serious all the time.
What?
Huh?
I'm never serious.
Oh.
Very rarely am I serious. I'm very serious sometimes.
Let's see, do we got any other questions?
Yeah, there was something I wanted to touch on, but I forgot because we started talking about something else. I'm so guilty of instant gratification shopping. Yeah, and that's another thing that our culture is good at, is that instant gratification. If it makes you feel good, do it. If, you know, if it's not hurting anybody, do it. Oh yeah, the quote that I love that Dave Ramsey talks about is, children do what feels good, adults delay pleasure. And that is just, you know, that doesn't mean literal children. That means some adults act like children. And for the most part, we act like children when we act like that. If we can really step out and look at it from a different perspective and be like, do you really need that? Is that really something that is super important?
Yeah.
Is that what matters in life?
That's what Kelly Jo, she said, don't buy anything unless you can write down what it's for and when you're going to use it.
I like that, because it's almost like when you're getting rid of something. So do I use it? Do I love it? Like, you know how, you know, you go through the process of getting rid of something. You should do the same process of getting something.
Yes.
But I mean, yes, obviously, like we love it. Do I?
Well, you can justify all kinds of stuff that
Yeah, I feel like you need to have a bigger criteria.
I'm going to buy a Cricut machine because I'm going to make crafts for all the people in my life.
Exactly.
Yes.
That's
great idea.
I don't know one person who's ever regretted buying their Cricut machine. Just saying. The only time, and I concur on this, I do not adult is when I'm at Disneyland. Ha ha. So
who said
keep it in the budget.
That's good.
But as long as you make a Disneyland budget, go
on vacation with cash, so vacation doesn't follow you home. Yeah, it's super easy to just blow your budget. And my favorite thing to think about is I want to pay for something I get to do in the future rather than paying for a vacation I already took. Yep. That's why
That's what I think about when I think about vacation. Like, as long, put it in the budget, save for it, go have fun, be a kid on your vacation. You don't have to adult in real life either. You just have to adult in the proper moments. Being mature is knowing when you have to be.
Yeah. I like that. Mel Matthew 87. I sure need to hear this today. Been looking for a new car that I do not need. Way to go.
Yeah.
See, okay, there's nothing wrong at all of getting a new car. Now, I don't know if you're saying new car is in a newer used car or like a brand spanking new car with 15 miles on it. But there's nothing wrong with getting a car, but it's delaying that process until if you're a little bit smarter and you save up as much cash as possible to put towards that new car. And then the current car you have, when you sell that, using that money also for the car. What's that? But anyways, when it comes to cars, it's super easy to just walk in and be like, hey, I can afford $400 a month for a car payment. And all of a sudden you're leaving the lot with a, $30,000 car that you really didn't need, because you could probably go buy a $16,000 car that would fulfill what you're looking for, and save up cash for it, to pay a lot for it, and not having another car payment.
Yeah.
It's I can't tell you how nice it is to not have a car payment. I think in our debt story, did we share about buying our Pilot?
I think so, but I wanted to talk about Madame Leota. But keep going.
No. Anyways, when we bought our we have a 2008 Honda Pilot that we saved up at that time. I think was $14,000.
I think so.
Yeah, we had $14,000 cash, and we told the car lot that we were looking at this Pilot, like, hey, this is all we have, $14,000 or $15,000 cash out the door. And they told us the first time, yeah, sorry, can't do that. And then all of a sudden, we leave and they're calling us back like, oh, well, hey, maybe we can do that. And so cash speaks. When you're just pulling out a loan, the car lots want to know how much can you afford a month, and then we'll figure that out. But
yeah. So Madame Leota says, sometimes I get peer pressure by my friends when they say you only live once. And this is what I wanted to talk about, and I forgot. So bad company corrupts good behavior. And
not saying all their friends are bad.
I'm not saying they're bad, but they're bad company in the moment when you're trying to get out of debt. So, or whatever stage you're on in your financial situation. I'm just going to tell you, it doesn't mean you don't have to be friends with those people. It doesn't mean that you don't need to hang out with them. But sometimes you realize you come to a point in life when your choices are going to be not offensive to other people, but just weird to other people. And they just might not understand, but it's very, very important to do what's best for you in those moments. And it's really going to pay off. And it's a lot more fun to hang out with friends who are It's a lot more fun to hang out with people who are good with their money, because once you're debt free, once you've got your emergency fund, and then you're living like no one else with the other people who are living like no one else, the other people who are YOLOing are still YOLOing and scraping by and going on the budget cruise. When you're doing I can go wherever I want because I saved up all my money and now I'm living life.
Yeah.
So I would just say, find better friends, but, make those ones acquaintances and find friends that like to spend their money wisely, because they're going to be more fun to do things with.
Yeah. Alicia said, I wish my husband was here, but
to see you too.
Sometimes that he is the instant yes person and she says no very quickly. Isn't that the amazing thing about relationships and marriages?
Iron sharpens iron.
Yeah. Opposites attract. And that's reality. It gets back to communication of you might be a no person, I might be a yes person, but we need to figure out how we're going to effectively communicate,
about become maybe people.
Maybe people. But finding that balance of, hey, if it's in the budget, we don't need to be an instant yes or an instant no person, but let's build this in. Let's talk about it and hold each other accountable to it. So
Virginia says yes, and stay away from those people that want to spend your money. If your friends are broke, you will be broke too. Yes, and I want to share a tip though, because once you lived like no one else so that you can live like no one else. Once you are to a point where you're debt free and all that stuff, you're able to bless your friends so much more than when you're broke. Like when you're broke, you're like, hey, buddy, can you do my hair for free? When you're living like no one else, you're like, hey, buddy, can you do my friend? And I'm going to give you a really big tip because I love you and I will spend my money wisely. So I get to bless you with a lot more than I could when I was broke. So yeah, I said no for a long time, but now I'm getting to say yes to all these really wonderful things. It's
not just friends, but also family. They could be the people who want to
family's even worse.
Spend your money and make you broke real quick. So are you going to share about what's coming out in June at all?
No.
Oh.
Well, if they're with us still 15 minutes in, no, why? What are you talking about?
Nothing.
I'm giving hints. They know I'm working on a big project. Dustin's so excited about it. What kind of hint?
I don't know.
You can show the thing Toby just gave you.
Really?
I don't know. I'm trying to be like discreet.
Oh.
And they have to put the puzzle pieces together to figure it out.
Okay. I don't know of a hint, but something's going to be coming.
Well, they know that, I think.
Yes.
Well, I don't like to, okay, this is my thing, babe. I don't like to nail dates down because as soon as I put it out there, something happens and nothing will work out.
Something is coming in the future.
They know that. I talked about that in the last video. So what? It better not be like a hint that gives it really away.
Would this give it away?
No. That's gonna just confuse them.
That's
royally confuse them.
Look, I've got a prop that I picked up.
Rack-a-track? What is that?
Wacka.
So Dustin has obviously fallen into the category of the people that when you hang out with us for this long, we go into really random conversations.
Yes, random. Here's the hint. We've got
finally the hint.
We got a racketeers. This is a device.
You didn't even bring the whole thing.
Oh, sorry.
Just gonna buy one too. Oh man.
Here we go. We got 2 of them. 2 racketeers.
Does that excite you guys?
This.
Well, if they've been here for an hour, you can give them
great things. How about that?
I feel like you can give them a better hint.
If you know an electrician in your life, they would know what this tool is used for.
But first of all, you have to know electrician, and then you have to know what that does, and then you have to figure out what it does, and then we're thinking outside the box because we're not using it for what it's actually
You use 2 of them, and you put it on a surface.
It's confusing people.
I'm so confused. Use 2 of these.
This is not.
And something goes between the 2 on a spool.
I feel like there's things that we could show you, but it would definitely give it away. And then there's things that we could show you like that. That's
like
not
a box?
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You're not fun. Oh, man.
When's the surprise coming?
Don't wake him up. Don't wake him up. Well, babe, I just said
my husband is an electrician.
Don't wake him up. I don't like to put dates out there because once I put a date out and I say, I'm going to go live on this day, or I'm going to do this, or this surprise is going to launch on June whatever.
Oh, you said June.
Well, and this is our first time doing it, so we're hoping for a specific date, but we don't know if everything's lining up to do it correctly. That's too much.
That's too much?
That's too much.
Come on. They've been here an hour.
That's too much.
They would have to watch it for an hour.
Okay, show them. The only reason we're going to Disney is because we have saved for 6 years, no overspending and paying off debt. I also helped my niece and her wedding, made everything for her.
I have a box.
Mm-hmm.
I have a box.
See, now they're just talking about the May mystery box.
The what?
The Cricut mystery box. Everyone's going to think that you're talking about the Cricut mystery box.
It's an empty box.
Dustin, you are bad.
They're hanging. They're here with us.
It's a motor. That wasn't a motor. The thing that he was showing you.
What?
Don't even read those comments.
Don't read.
Do you know people can watch this later and read comments later?
There's the hint.
That's too big of a hint.
That's all right.
There was a motor in there. No, okay, the
motor.
That's not a motor. It's going to be a tool that's going to help us. It's not the mystery box, but you're worse than me.
What?
I'm like, should I tell them? I want to tell them so bad. He's like, no, you can't tell them.
That's why you bring your husband onto your Financial Friday show.
No, this is killing me because everything inside me wants to tell them, but I want to do it correctly.
There's the hint. We gave him a hint. That's it. That's the hint.
No, that thing that he brought out is just definitely a decoy. It's not going to help you guys.
Racketeers.
Okay, so you put a pole in this side and a pole in the other side, and then it holds something on it.
It holds a spool of something.
And that's going to help us turn that spool into something else.
That goes into the box.
Come on, tell us. An anti-Tay monthly box? That would be crazy. I love that you're so excited about this. I can't wait to figure out what it is. That was too good of a hint.
No. It's all right. You got to give little hints.
Yeah, hints.
And then sometimes you got to give a bigger hint.
No, I started the hints yesterday.
Oh, well, high five.
There was a hint on Crazy Creator Group and then another really obvious but subtle hint on the Cricut group that if you know, well, I don't know. You said it's not that obvious because Uline sells a lot of things. Uline
sells
boxes, and when you make a really big order from Uline, you get free blankets and
sells
things.
Shipping boxes.
Is it a cup turner? No, I wish.
Boxes. They sell boxes.
They sell lots of things, I thought you said.
And then you put things in boxes, and you just store.
Why don't you just take over my whole channel, and you can decide when you're going to announce things, and we'll just put you on the box and everything.
What?
On the box.
You can put my face on a box?
I'll put you on a box, yep.
Oh, yeah, that's all right.
The hint yesterday is, I still don't know what it could be. Okay, good. At least people aren't.
Well, if you don't know the hint yesterday, you got to go hunt. And it's in the patron stuff, right?
I mentioned print and cut branding the other day. Okay, these are the hints so far. I posted a picture of a huge roll of glitter iron-on.
Oh, like a huge roll.
A huge roll of glitter iron-on. I posted a picture of my Uline blanket that you get when you order a lot of things from Uline. I got the blanket for free. And then I posted a questionnaire on what everyone's favorite product and color is. Mm-hmm. Well, I think I might have asked another question. It's a vinyl holder. It's a spool holder, but
Kelly Joe, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah, but how's that going to help them?
Kelly Joe got it.
Well, you have two of them. To my craft
you have two of them. The other one's here, and there's a spool that goes in between. She said it's a vinyl holder.
I know.
There you go, Kelly Joe. High five. Bam.
I'm ordering a huge roll on Amazon. Yeah, so it was a 50-yard roll that I posted a picture of.
Yep. So.
Duh. Yeah, I think you just jinxed it. You gave way too many hints, and now it's not going to work out because that's just what happens. I get so excited about something, and then I tell them, and then something happens, and then it doesn't work out.
No.
There
you go. Elisa got it. It's for very big projects like blankets or sheets.
No. Thank you, husband. I love that. No.
We gave enough hints.
Yeah, you did. There'll be more hints coming Tuesday, and Tuesday I'll be live by myself. Yeah, you won't be there. And then hopefully next Friday we'll be live again.
Yep.
Are you designing your own vinyl? Can you even do that? I use multi. I don't know if you can do that.
Design your own vinyl?
I know you can do that, but I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I got a meeting I got to get.
Okay, bye.
You still hanging out?
No.
All
right.
It was good Financial Friday, talking to everybody about saying no. So practice it this weekend. You're going to go buy something. Just say no. Like, nope, I'll buy it in a couple days.
I'm going to be like, the kids are going to be like, where's our food? Like, I said no.
Can we get a slushie?
No.
What's that movie with Jim Carrey?
Yes, Man.
No.
Oh.
Liar, Liar.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't he have to...
He can't tell the truth.
Oh, he can't tell the truth.
I think you're thinking of Yes Man. That's
Oh.
what Jim Carrey. He gets stuck, so he can only say yes.
Yes.
He becomes a yes man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So become
All right.
Norman.
See you guys. It was fun hanging out.
Robin Noodles, fools. Okay, I could go all day. Love you guys.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. See ya.